Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you, my friend?
Good.
Fantastic. Trying to go live right now. Let's see what happens. Because, it's been moody lately. You know, how things work in this place. All right. Looks a little better. Don't want to look too washed out. Not for the public. Here we go. Let's see who's over here now. Travis Howard. Oh, shit. It's for real. People are coming. So excited. Let's see. Travis Howard and Gene. Gene, what's your last name? I know I have you down as outlet. Where's Gene? Is he on here? Cruze4Cash. Join the party.
Is that the Josh?
That is.
Hey, how's it going?
What up, man?
Fancy meeting you here.
I know, right? Long time no talk, brother, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Jacob?
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, have I shown you guys my view from my office yet? My new view at the new office?
You can certainly show us the new view at your office.
Hold on. I got to show you this. Hold on. Here you go. Can you see? Hold on, watch.
That's sunshine?
That would be sunshine. You see downtown Charlotte over there?
Oh, wow.
Oh, is this?
That's my view these days from my new office.
Look at you moving up in the world.
See
is
this?
that building you? Is that the building
dude,
you showed us?
Yes. Yeah, the old dump that you've seen. Yeah, dude.
The one that you took back from that dude or whatever? Nice.
So I'm going to have a little telly over there near my bookshelf, and then I got my couches. I'm going to have me a little table there so we can drop deals. I'm excited.
That is all. I'm actually, that looks really good. I mean, compared to, I know where you used to be. You've definitely come up in the world, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, trust me. Travis and Malou spent lots of money.
Well, ain't that convenient?
This is like where I've lived for the last 4 months, man, trying to get this damn thing done. It's insane.
I'm not gonna do it. Well, I'm glad you finally made it here, and I'm so glad to finally have you on our call at one of our final.
Jacob, what's the password to this one, buddy?
643610.
643610. All right, I'm signing in with the other one just so that we have 2 screens on this.
Well, look at that, getting all your stuff together.
Fancy schmancy.
Fancy schmancy. Okay, I'm putting up there just in case people do want to join us today. Boom. So we are streaming live on Facebook, so you guys have that going. And now that we are getting, I'm trying to make this work. It's just not wanting to cooperate that well, but that's all right. People will be coming in as time goes on, so we'll see what goes on. So let's go ahead and get the show on the road, shall we?
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, Ashton Yuri's coming on. Awesome. People are starting to come. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to the party. This is #Party Chatter, your favorite little 3 times a week podcast that we've been doing since March. I haven't gone crazy yet. I've just gone nuts. So welcome to the show. We have an extra special guest star today. 2, technically. We have Cruze4Cash creators and PerfectSkip creators, Mr. Travis Howard and his partner, Batch Team, because Gene didn't want to put his last name in the actual call. So we are going to call him Batch Team.
Oops. Batch Team.
There you go. That's right.
That works. I'm Batch Team.
So Gene and Travis decided to come up with apps because as you start building, it always starts with real estate, right? All of our businesses right now tend to start with real estate, but as you start growing in your business, other avenues start to form, other opportunities present themselves. And these 2 tech-savvy investors decided to embark on their own journey to make their own businesses better and hopefully yours by creating 2 new products. Travis, Gene, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about what you did and why.
Go for it, Gene.
Hey, thanks, Jacob. Appreciate you having us on here for sure. It's been a long journey for us. If anybody knows our story, you know our story. We discussed it a few days ago. But it's been a pretty long journey for us to be able to create what we were able to create. We created what we created simply because we got tired of using stuff that really didn't work. Too many people utilize and they create different things, different segments, and the business is really segmented, to be honest with you. Nothing really works together, and most of it, everybody knows it really doesn't work. Prime example, if anybody's been out there and tried to go out and use some of the driving for dollars applications that are out there, you're able to track it or you're not able to track. You're able to drop pins. Sometimes you're not able to drop pins. And so we just got really tired and really frustrated over the years of utilizing different platforms that really didn't work. And so hence Cruze4Cash and PerfectSkip were born. These applications are time tested. We've been, working on them for about 2 years now. A lot of R&D that's been done on it. We're both pretty much, super perfectionists when it comes to making sure that this stuff works well. And with that being said, the results have been really astounding. For PerfectSkip alone, we've had people that have utilized it. One guy, he actually dropped, I believe it was 200, Travis, it was 212 or 230 skips that he ran through PerfectSkip.
Yep, 230.
About 2 weeks ago. And we were able to get him a hit rate of 95.2%.
Wow.
Which is monstrous for sure.
Yeah,
and
but that's
anybody
not,
knows,
230,000.
But right, but yeah, one sitting, right? But this is the sick part of it, right? Because the dude was bitching about he had done, what was it, 1.2 million skips with another company.
Right.
The ones that he gave us that we hit over 90% on were the ones that the first batch company could not get anything on, and we hit 90%. Kind of a big difference. It wasn't just, hey, here you go, let's see what you get. No, he gave us the 230,000 that the other company couldn't find any of the owners or their phone numbers, and we were able to hit over 90% on that skip trace. That's a huge difference. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk about why that's important to those of you who are new to real estate investing. You see, as you start going about trying to find off-market properties and you're prospecting, you will be doing things like driving for dollars and finding out owners of vacant distressed properties, for example, right? And as you go about doing that, you collect that data and you have to find out who owns these properties to see if you can buy them, okay? If you can solve someone's problem. Now, the thing is, that costs money. Going and getting a list on its own is an investment. Then if you have to go turn around and have them skip traced, that's another investment. So before you even contact anyone, you're starting to invest into your business and into these prospects. Now, if you're not getting a high return on your investment because you're not getting the right quality from your skips, that means you're throwing money away. So what Travis and Gene have just showed us is that they had over 230,000 prospects that this client was having to throw away. And just as a last-ditch effort, wanted to see what Travis and Gene could put together. So when he had 230,000 and got about 210 back with actual numbers, did that improve his return on his investment, guys? What do you think?
Woof.
Now, how many, Travis and Gene, out of 210,000 leads that you would have for yourselves, how many contracts does that typically equal out to for you guys?
Oh man. Well, I mean, it all depends on what you're going at, but I mean, I'd probably say what, Travis, upwards over 30 or 40 easily.
Oh, well, no, even more than that. So on my leads right now, I just sat down with Mike on this. For every 100 that we skip, that we send stuff to, and it depends on your list also. So think about it that way. So, if it's tax delinquents, you're going to have a different percentage than if it's vacants, right? So each list is going to have a percentage given out, and you won't know until you test it for your market necessarily. We just sent out literally 100. This is yesterday. We sent out 127 texts, and we are working on about 9 houses. I think 7 contracts. Now that is way more than our normal. Yeah.
That's a great
way
return.
more than normal. I would say for every two, because we do at least 200 a day. I would say on our average, we'll get probably a contract or two on 200. And then, so for probably every 7, we'll get one that we actually keep that will make us from $5,000 to $20,000 on a wholesale deal, as an example. I'm just giving you my numbers from the last, say, week.
So let's go over that one more time, because remember, we talk about what can be measured, can be managed. So Travis just shared with us some of his metrics. Now he's saying that different lists have different performance rates, but that's exactly what he knows because he's tested them. So he spends his money on the list that actually bring him the most return. Out of this, what he's saying is for every 100 contacts, they send 200 a day. They typically get 2 contracts. Out of those contracts, it takes 7 contracts to get 1 wholesale. So how many text messages, class, does that mean he has to send in order to make a wholesale fee of a minimum of $5,000? Do the math. Isn't it fun to?
We're about 1,400-ish. There, about?
Yeah, you're right around 1,400.
Yeah.
So if it's going 1,400 text messages to get them 1 wholesale deal, which is going to bring between $5,000 and up, how many do they get a week?
Right.
Assuming you're doing a 5-day work week.
And now, and let me also add this, Jacob. So the best list that you can ever have, my opinion, but facts for us in my market in Charlotte, and in Gene's market, Charlotte, Rock Hill, are going to be driving for dollars. Your driving for dollars by far will be most kick-ass leads you can ever have, because you can't buy it, right? Everybody can buy a vacant. Everybody can buy all these tax limits, and they're great. Don't get me wrong. But that's one of the other reasons why we have the Cruze4Cash stuff as the example is you cannot find a better lead than you drive for dollars. And on top of that, learning your market wherever you live. And this is another thing I want to add, because this is something that I've had a lot of people, come back to me and ask me like, yeah, but I don't even know if I want to do houses, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't got to do houses. Go and drive for dollars for apartments. Go and find trailer parks. I buy trailer parks. I buy apartments also. And I get my biggest and best leads from that drive for dollars and tracking it. And I still got to skip trace those owners. So keep these things in mind. When you're driving is your top return on your investment for your time, in my opinion, and your money for your gas or whatever it might be that you're doing. Hell, I've even been in Brooklyn, the Bronx, all that. I've went subwaying for dollars, swear to God on my life. And it's fun. Hop on the subway, roll down, take your exit, go and walk, hit the brickyards, and start writing down addresses. So it doesn't matter where you live, all this stuff works, but it still comes down to your hit rates. So think about it. You spent all these hours or days getting, a couple hundred, say that you have 250 different addresses from you driving for dollars or walking or biking for dollars. And now what are you going to do with them? Well, that's where most people stop, and that's where they screw themselves and their business and their family. For the simple fact is that you got to take that next step. You have to go get it skip traced, right? So have a tracking mechanism like what Gene and I have. And I'm not just here to just tell you about the apps that we have because they're phenomenal, but it's the point of it makes us real money. So you got to keep these things in mind. If I'm using my driving for dollars, right, the Cruze4Cash app, I can, while I'm in front of that property, I can put a pin down on the app and it pops up their phone number. Is there a better time to call them than now? No, call them. What if God forbid, if they answer and you might make money, right? So call them, hope and pray that they answer and talk to them. Well, I've never thought about it. Well, I'm sitting out in front of it now. It's just my wife and our business. We're just trying to pick up another house in the neighborhood. We've picked one up not too far away, a couple miles or a couple blocks away. And we really like the area. We buy them, we fix them, and then we just rent them out with some really good affordable housing tenants. And I was just wondering, have you thought about ever selling your home? And you'll be amazed, since you're there on the spot, they'll want to do business with you. Hey, is it empty? Because it looks empty. Is there any way, would you mind if I actually just poke my eyes in the windows if it's empty? Oh, there's a key, a hidden key. Okay, fantastic. It's the conversation. But guys, you can't just sit there and wait for shit to fly out of the blue sky into your lap. And I'm thinking that that's why all of us get into these groups like what Jacob's got, is because we need that push. We need to have that knowledge base and that know-how. Well, that's why you're here. And I'm telling you this because we do really well with doing this on a daily basis. So back to the skip tracing thing, make sure that you're doing it after you're done. So pick a number in your head. For every 50 that I do, I'm going to skip trace them. And then call them. Don't just let them sit there. And Gene is great on the technology stuff, as Jacob and I know, and Gene know. I hate technology, and I use this crap every day, all of it, because it makes me a lot of money, right? And I'm sure that half of you are going to be the same. Raise your hand real quick if you hate this technology stuff. Anybody else like me? Right. I despise it. I know Josh definitely despises it. He and I'd rather be in the woods somewhere just chilling near a lake or a pond or something, right? So you really have to think about how you want to do this and put the processes and systems into place, which we're giving you guys, and actually start working it. And these people are not going to kill you over the phone. They may try, they may F you or call you whatever names. Who cares? Get some thicker skin, right? Because it happens every day to Gene and I and to Jacob. But it's the doing part. We already have all the tools and everything. We're handing you the toolbox, and all you got to do is figure out what tool you need for the time being, for right then and there, and just start actually doing it. Stay motivated and call these people, and you'll be amazed. And keep in mind, this is one of the things that 20 years ago when I got started, I really screwed myself in the head on, was I was thinking, and literally I really thought this, I feel like I'm taking advantage of people. No, you're not. Whether they own an apartment complex, a trailer park, a house, a multi-unit, you're there to help them and figure out how the hell to help them. And understand, 90% of the time, the 95%, you ain't gonna be able to help them. You might be able to you might not be able to physically get their property, but mentally you can still help them even if you can't buy their property. You have to understand, you have to have that helping heart and be like, hey, you know what? I already can tell that these numbers aren't going to work, but let me tell you what you can do since you're the owner. Call the bank and say these things. It's being able to set them up, because you may not get a deal today from that person, but they're going to show every damn person that they know that is in trouble, that's having issues or challenges in their life. You're going to be the first person that they give you the phone number to, so that they call and contact you, and you'll get a different house. It's amazing how this thing works. I've been doing this for a long time, and it never ceases to amaze me. I just sit there, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get a house from that person, but they gave me a person that just lost their job, their neighbor, and I was able to help them. It's absolutely the coolest. I got goosebumps thinking about it. It's the coolest thing to be able to do, but you guys got to get your head in there right, but use the tools that are in front of you. That, look, whenever I first got started in this, guys, Google, Zillow, all these damn websites, they were not even a sperm to think about. They weren't even thought about at the time. I had dial up still in 99. Some of us aren't even old enough yet probably to remember those days. This is right. I remember those days and I hated them, but I didn't hate them at that time because it's all we knew. So make sure you guys are using these tools, whether it's with us or not. I don't really care. Just go out and help some people and make some damn money and find them.
So there's only been one real estate investor ever who had a house land right on top of them. One. And it was the Wicked Witch of the East.
Witch of the West.
You saw the rest of the movie, right?
Yes.
Her sister got all pissed. It was like in probate all of a sudden, and went after Dorothy. The Yellow Brick Road was this whole nightmarish thing, getting it out. You don't want that, okay?
Toto's and the dog Toto. What it Toto? Is that right?
Toto was the dog, yes.
Toto, yeah.
Oh my God.
Poor thing. So it's not gonna happen, but this is the cool part, guys. What's really funny, and Carlos, now I'm Carlos. I'm so glad you're on this call, my friend. I'm so glad you're gonna meet my mentors. This is Travis and Gene. Welcome, Carlos. Carlos was a scaredy cat. He was a dancer like me, and he was absolutely terrified to get on the phone and talk to people. So we had 2 challenges in Real Estate Survivor, and he came on finally in the second challenge and started to make the phone calls he should have made the first challenge. Now he's a rock star at cold calls. Carlos, please brag a little bit. Tell me, how many calls do you typically make in one of your cold calling sessions?
Well, depending on the time, I mean, I can do like 30, just depending on my schedule, but I've done more than that, where I've had more time. my max was like 800, which is 8 to 9, with with some communication. But yeah.
Here you go.
So real quick, and Jacob, I don't know what from all this stuff, so I'm asking a question here. Would be, I'll make a statement real quick first. So from my own experience, what I can handle with cold calls in a day, if I have an entire day, literally me personally, I can do about 2 to 2.5 hours, and then I'm done. I'm toast. I'm like burnt on all ends. Now, what's really cool with the texting part, just from our testing and doing it so much over the the last year, I can perfect example, Mike, my other partner, my acquisitions manager and partner on my wholesale company here in Charlotte, we just did that 127 or 129 yesterday, and we got everything set up the right way, but all we did is text. That's it. I didn't have to talk to a damn person, and I have templates set up, all this really cool stuff. And I'm typing up new stuff and whatever it might be, but it makes it so let me put it this way, it's not as abrasive, I guess. It's more of a warm than a cold call is.
Yeah.
I did my college internship selling Bibles and educational books door to door for 2 years. That was the hardest thing by far I've ever done. Trust me. Picture this North Carolina redneck walking and knocking on doors. It's hilarious. But I was really good at it, right? But it took me 2 weeks to get used to it. With text, everybody reads their damn text. Like
91% open rate.
Right. It's ridiculous. So if you've got a great list, from Drive for Dollars or tax delinquents or vacants, and then you start to text these people, I'm telling you, you can do, so Mike and I, if it's just he and I as the example, and I know Gene does a ton of it too, and Jacob, I'm not sure how much text you're doing or if you're doing any yet.
Yep.
Right.
We're going to that's the next challenge. We keep
going.
going.
So it's absolutely phenomenal. Our team can handle, and just me and Mike being the team, we can handle 200 texts at one time, and that's going to keep you busy for about the next 6 to 10 hours, like literally. Your first hour, though, you're going to be overwhelmed as hell if you do 200. So from my standpoint, if it's just me, I would do 50 at a time and knock it out, because you want to make sure that you're controlling the story, right? The context of everything. So 50 at a time. I'm telling you exactly what I teach all the time, if you haven't figured that out. So 50 at a time should be enough per person on about a 3 or 4 hour basis, and then hit another 50 if you got time. But this is what's so cool. It's text. So nothing's an emergency, right? Phone calls, you got to answer the damn things whenever they're coming in, right? Or else you just lost a deal more than likely. Whenever you're making phone calls out, well, you're sitting there on a dialer and you're waiting for somebody to answer. And sometimes you might get sometimes you might not. We're looking at over 90% return on a text, and you're going to have people F you. Probably 10% of them are going to be F you. Literally, they will say,
"Is your mom's house for sale?"
Yeah, exactly. They'll say anything, and I get to sit there and I get you get the most colorful little things out there that I'm like, ooh, that's a really good one. I want to text something back, but I better not on that. But I'm telling you, this stuff works, but it still comes down to how great is your list and how great are those numbers. Hey, Gene, what are some of the numbers real quick? Jacob, sorry, did you have something else you wanted to add, brother? I'm sorry.
I'm letting you go. I mean,
okay,
I know better than this.
Where do you get your list?
What's that?
Where do you get your list? I'm sorry.
It all depends. Where have you been getting your stuff from, Gene?
I've been pulling them from PropStream, and then have people going and driving for dollars too as well. I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is that, and what I was gonna add in is that, when you're driving for dollars, you're there, you see it, you're in the store, you know what it looks like, right? It's kind of like companies like Best Buy, for example. I mean, I'm not, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not really predicting the future, but for things like, for things specifically like, TVs, right? People have to see them. They got to touch them. They got to feel them. Those places it's going to be hard for them to go out of business. You're right there in the store. You're right there looking at this house, and you're able to see and evaluate anything and everything you need to be able to do when you're driving for dollars. And that's really the most important, that's probably one of the best lists out there, is that I mean, you know, we're pulling stuff from PropStream. And I got to tell you,
List Source.
yeah, list source. PropStream's great, list source great, but nothing's better than having somebody right in front of that house and they're able to see that property, get that property for you, and have that all that information. You know, and I mean, just to segue into something that will help you into being able to, you know, keep you organized, keep your team organized, and keep your deals organized and all that stuff is an application that we worked really hard on, which is Cruze4Cash. This application pretty much has almost all of it. I mean, it really does. You know, there are a few features that I wish we had in it, and we are going to have in it, you know, very soon within the next few months. So, but realistically speaking, this app is very simple. I mean, the interface on it is really simple. It's not complicated. You know, we really took a page out of Apple's book, because some of the other platforms that we used previous were kind of heavy. They were kind of complicated. There was a lot going on in the page. And for the average individual, the average investor, even for the more skilled investor, it was really difficult for you to be able to navigate and know what's going on. So we really created a real simplistic interface to try to provide you the nuts and bolts of what you need. You need to know the property. You need to know the property information. You need to know about that property, beds, baths, mortgage information, etc. You also need to know about that owner, who that owner is of that property. And, you know, we added in there just recently, about a few months ago, their social media information too as well. Now, I will tell you this. If you're afraid to call on the phone, send a text. And if you're afraid to send a text, you'll be even more afraid to hit them up on a social media platform, because that'll really bug them out and wig them out. But honestly, though, and in all honesty, I mean, you know, what we were trying to do is, you know, create something that solves a problem. And the problem is this: a lot of the data out there for a lot of these platforms, people go cheap, right? I mean, let's just face it, trying to fit budgets, trying to make budgets, trying to work into certain things and try to make numbers work. That's one thing we didn't go cheap on. You know, the data that we use, the stuff that we use in order to get the data to this platform is incredibly expensive. I mean, ridiculously expensive. But at the same time, it's accurate. And what does accuracy bring? It brings results. All right. You're able to get in touch with these people. You don't, and exactly, Bo, money. That's exactly it. Money. Right. Everybody's looking for a quick way, a faster way, an easier way to be able to do it. Cruze4Cash is it. I mean, you literally go, you drop a pin. Once you drop that pin, it opens the opens the property information. You hit 2 buttons, the phone number appears, and you're on the phone with the guy within literally a matter of 15 seconds. Real quick, easy, simple interface. The other thing is,
I want you guys to understand is, remember, they built this because they have been doing this for decades and decades between the two of them, almost 100 years combined. Before they actually had state constitutions in North Carolina, these were on horse and buggy trying to find.
We wrote contracts on chisels. We chiseled it into the stone. That's what we did.
So they knew what was going on. Now they've come a long way since the stone tablets into now this cell phone era. So what they wanted was a way for them to make their money faster. Solving a solution for their business is what created the solution for other people's businesses when they want to do this. So how many of you guys have ever gone driving for dollars before?
I just started.
Well, welcome. It's one of the things I tell people when you're freaking out and you don't know what to do and you're getting overwhelmed, go and drive for dollars. I learned that from Travis, by the way, because it's an action, and actions get you out of your head. So if you're going around, you see a property and you use Cruze4Cash, you actually pick it up, which I have downloaded it. You actually do get to see more information you possibly need, including marital status.
So you can plug that information in. You're driving, you see an address, you can plug it in, and all this information comes up.
It does.
It's amazing what Big Brother knows about you.
It's simple, real
Hey,
simple,
real
easy,
quick,
quick, and efficient.
Yeah, and Gene, it also gives the skip stuff too, from that standpoint. If you want errors, we have errors. So me personally, Gene and I and Mike and Jacob, actually, we all chase a lot of properties that someone's died, right? In probate or an heirship of some sort.
I live in Florida, everyone's dying.
Right, exactly. So it gives a lineage of all their names and their phone numbers. So you can also contact those folks, which has paid off huge for us.
Yeah, we give you the next closest relative. So if John Smith is dead, call his call the relative that we give you right then and there. I mean, and we utilize a pretty complex algorithm in order to figure out exactly who's who and what's the relevance of these individuals. And that all goes into the, the algorithm and what we've created with this. But I'll tell you this, how many people have driven down the same road twice when driving for dollars? Anybody? Right? Boatloads, right? Okay. Well, you won't have to with this anymore, because it'll tell you exactly the route that you're going. You could track your route. You can literally see the properties that you did on that route. I mean, how many times you sit there and you go back through and you're like, God, I mean, I know I went and I saw this property, but I don't remember where or when it was, or if I have it on this list or whatever. You can literally go back to the mileage of where you were, click on that. It'll show you a route of where you drove, and it'll show you all the properties that you had on that particular route. On top of it, some people are super organized, and some of us aren't, but we decided to cater to the people that were really organized, or wanting to be organized, or trying to be organized, I guess you can say. And with that, you also
subjective term, so I take offense to it. Right.
Well, listen, let me tell you something, okay? This may actually help you get organized if you're not. Put it that way. Let me put
that's what I'm here for him. It's okay.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Well, one of the things, guys, that I ran into that kept happening over and over, and I'm sure I'm not alone on this, is I love legal pads. I'm not a big technology guy. I'm dead serious. I'm not.
I'm in Gastonia. Let me grab this pad today.
So
Hold on. Let me go.
This was my biggest challenge was right. Exactly, bro. I've got stacks and stacks at my old office that I haven't moved over yet. So this is my biggest challenge, because Gene knows I'm not organized like that. I do right, and then Gene happens to clean up a lot of my mess of stuff that I do, right? It's a great partnership like that, because Gene's very highly organized. Just like this call, Gene texted me 12 minutes prior and said, "Hey, don't forget there's a call." I was like, "Oh shit," because I just
I'm the guy behind the elephant cleaning up the shit. That's what.
So I'm like, "Oh God, I just forgot. I was doing an interview with an accountant, a new accountant I'm trying to bring on board in my office, right? So I'm trying to do my business stuff, and Gene's like, "Come back, dumb," right? So I would have all these legal pads, still have them, and I'm like, I'm so pissed off at myself, because what happens when you lose your legal pad?
You lose
lost
all your leads.
Right. You lose your entire lead that you just spent hours driving around for. And I've had it happen over and over again, and it's not smart. So that's whenever Gene and I one day we were actually drinking adult beverages, and I'm like, dude, I'm highly pissed off. I'm like living it myself. And we were talking, hence 2 years ago. And that's why we did what we did, because I got tired of losing all my shit constantly. And I have 18 players around me constantly in my office, Gene also being one. And I'm an 18 player to Gene, but just not for organization. So take your strengths and figure out what they, right? Gene knows for a fact. He's learned it. He's already gotten over the pissed off piece at me, right? I'm like, dude, I'm not highly organized, but if I need to get in front of anybody, if I need to talk to people, whatever it is, I'm there. If I need to go and close on something, I can make it happen. That's my strengths. It's not being organized. So if you are like me, which is going to be half of you, start right. Jacob, you and I are the worst at it, and we're running organizations, right?
I know.
But we have great people that tell us what we need to do next. That's the whole point. But it takes time to build that. So if you're that person that's unorganized or disorganized, try out the app, figure it out, let it start making you some money, and see how this baby gets you in a place that you actually, it does it for you. And then once you've done a couple 3 to 5 deals, you bring a manager that comes in, and he or she will organize all this stuff for you. And then all you have to do, they'll have it skip traced for you. They'll have everything done for you, hopefully with us, through us.
Wait, Travis, do we have that feature?
What's that?
Do we have that feature that
We
allows
do
for
have that
hierarchy?
feature. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So then
So you literally can like grow your team with this application?
100%. So
Oh,
then
man.
all I do is what I'm great at, and my expertise is calling people and talking and building relationships. And I put it into the app, my conversations, my notes of everything. And then after I get it locked down, my actual closing coordinator goes and my dispositions manager go, and they talk to that person and they get everything under contract through DocuSign. They do everything that needs to be done while I'm still making phone calls or doing text. Phone calls, text, driving for dollars, knocking on more doors. Is this making sense? Is this helping some of you guys? Show of hands. I'm serious. Is it help? Who's it helping?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, but it's getting that mindset right of, guys, ain't none of us smart enough to be able to do all this stuff. And we're not. You have to start having the tools and the team that go with it. And it's all it takes is one deal so you can build a team. One deal of say 7, 10, 12, 14, 15, 18, $20,000 to actually be able to afford to have somebody come full-time and work with you, that they can control all of your chaos and all your chaos and actually put it in order. That's what everybody on here should be doing. And that's what our software has done, is so that you guys can actually do that and you don't have to worry about it. And then once you get that teammate, they can come in and manage it with you.
So what you guys are hearing, by the way, are insights on how to build systems based around your specific strength. Notice how both Gene and Travis have talked about proper T's, building a pipeline of leads, finding properties that no one else is going after. It is a list of things that they try to do, but notice they're not getting emotionally attached to one property. See, as you start to develop, you start to grow, and you guys are learning this in an investor party, you're seeing that you can actually start by doing one thing, get 80% down, and then pass it off. You just need to know enough to make it work. You want to leave enough room in there so the person you're passing it off to feels like they can leave an impression, that they can actually have some sort of impact on it.
Autonomy.
Loyal, right? They feel like they know what's going on, and that's more collaborative.
Yeah.
Versus why we all hate corporate America, being micromanaged is not my thing. Can you imagine me as an employee? I'm not very good. No.
I'd fire you and I'd fire me.
That is so sweet. That means so much, actually. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. God, we're weird. So now something that the Gene and Travis have also touched on is the fact that you want to know where your strengths are in your business. Now, one of the things we're going to be learning throughout this program is how to create bird dogs and how the software can actually help you scale your business quite quickly. You see, as long as you're getting properties sent to you and you get a list of properties that you might want to call on, whether they're single family, mobile homes, commercial, vacant land, if you at least get something coming to you, you have something to work with, right? So why not scale? Let's ask Travis and Gene, how do you guys scale using bird dogs?
Hey, Jake, I'm sorry, but I got to go to the airport. So I've got to go up to Indy. So I wanted to bounce on here as long as I could. Yeah. So I got to go catch a plane in like an hour and 25 minutes. So it was great seeing all you guys again. For those of you that I'm seeing the second time, great meeting you guys. If I haven't had a chance to meet you, thanks for your time. Check us out.
Thank you.
And I know Gene and Jacob have got you guys. Gene is the one that's been building all this stuff out. He is a wizard at this stuff. So if you have questions, which I hope you do, please ask him, because I want to see his head explode. And it's being videoed, so it should be fine. Y'all have a great week. Peace. I'm out.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye, Travis. So scaling is probably one of the most difficult, but it's also one of the easiest things to do as well. You know, you got to have a foundation. I mean, anybody who runs a business knows that you have to have a solid foundation and solid systems in place in order to be able to scale, right? And let's face it, the times of the notebooks, as Travis was referring to, the chisel and the stone, as Jacob was referring to, those days are over. I mean, in this business, it's feast or famine. I mean, and that's really what it is. And so, building a good system and having good tools in your toolbox, as Travis was alluding to, is definitely the key to be able to helping you grow. You know, scaling, as I said, you know, you definitely, once you get 1 or 2 deals under your belt, you know, would probably be a good time, depending on the size of the deals or even your comfort level or even your educational level in regard to knowing this business, would be to go and, you know, take a look at trying to hire some virtual assistants, get some people, you know, going and virtually calling for you, you know, on some of these lead lists that you have. Getting some bird dogs, as I was alluding to before within the software. You know, this platform has the ability to allow you to control your business, but also be able to control the access of users to as well utilizing this platform. So, you know, you sign up these bird dogs within the application and they go out and they go find these properties for you. Then you cut a deal with them. You say, hey, look, you know what? For every property you find, I'll give you $500 if we close on it. How's that sound? You know, or you can do it to where you can pay them by the property that they give you. People do it either way. It doesn't make a difference. And some people are, you know, incredibly generous and they pay them by the hour. I mean, they'll go and they'll pay bird dogs by the hour. And, you know, maybe they give them $5, $10 an hour and they give them a little bit of commission on the side for every property that they bring in. So, you know, this platform really allows you to be able to do it. And honestly, the reason why we created this was because of the fact that, you know, there's a way to short line and fast track everything. And, you know, back in the day, like Travis was saying, you'd go, you get the pen and the paper, you write down the property, you'd go, you search the courthouse records, you get the courthouse records back, you find out who the person is, then you go, you skip trace it, then you call them, blah, blah. 15 seconds, guys, 15 seconds. You drive by, you drop the pin, you get the info, you call them. Hey, James, how you doing? I'm right in front of your house. It looks great. I'd love to buy it. I mean, you know, it's that easy. It's that simple. So, you know, we really wanted to create something that was really simple. As I started off the conversation with in the beginning, we got really tired of, you know, using different things that really didn't work. The data was terrible and we weren't able to get the results that we were looking for. And so, you know, we went out and we got, you know, got some of the best data sources that we can find, created an algorithm, manipulated some of that data, and then been able to get the, you know, get the information that we could get into. So.
Speaking of information that you're able to mine, so again, you were working on this for 2 years, which is really interesting.
Yep.
I think we're all starting to realize how much information, personal information of ours is out there on the internet, which is very, very upsetting sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the things you were surprised that you found out there on individuals?
Where do you want to start?
Ooh, good. This could be, let me get my popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, you can find almost anything and everything about anybody on the internet. I mean, you can find out, you know, where they worked. You can find out where they went to school, their occupation, who they were dating, pictures, stuff. I mean, the possibilities out there is really endless. You know, and as somebody was saying in here, yeah, that's the only stuff that we know of. I mean, yeah, there's boatloads and boatloads and boatloads of information that are out there that you can garner and get. I mean, it really, the sky is the limit with it. But, you know, with what we created, you know, we were able to see that some data is great. Some data sources are great with certain things and some aren't as great. And so by taking all of that and creating what we were able to create, we were able to get great results out of it.
So when did you ever try to skip yourself and see what you came up with?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was that like?
Well, you know what? It's kind of difficult because you know, I have a lineage. So there's boatloads of people that are, you know, like the John Smith name. There's a boatload of people that are named my same name too as well. So it gets really interesting for sure, because you're like, hold on, that's not me. What is under my name? So I mean, yeah, there's boatloads of interesting stuff that you can find out there for sure.
That's actually interesting too, because I as we were going through, some of us are doing business credit, building our business credit. One of the things we have to do is we have to go through our LexisNexis statement, for example, and you will find other people that have your name, their issues or their properties are you, and you've actually got to go and dispute it, which is what clarifies a lot of things. So it's really interesting that you can do that with your software as well and kind of get a head start on that, which is super fun.
Yeah.
So I believe that Carlos has a question. Carlos?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Gene. Hi, Gene. So with all these leads that you get, I was just wondering, how do you choose the properties that you hold on to, rental or flip? You may hold some for rental, some, you'd like it, want to flip it, sell it, get rid of.
It's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
It's all about the numbers. It all depends on various different things. The areas that they're in. Is it a good rental market? Can people pull, can you get good rents off the properties? That's number one. Number two, can you sit there and just do a flip on it too and just not rent it out? I mean, there's tons of variables that you come into play with. I like to say this, like, there's some investors that go and they only get deals that are 3.2s, that have 1,200 square feet, that have a good roof, and nonsense. Okay, nonsense. There are people that will buy every single deal that you have if it is a deal. Now, what I mean by that is that I've came across guys that literally will buy them at 95% of ARV. I mean, which is ridiculous. In my book, I think it's crazy, but they're that desperate for a property that it will work for them. So, I honestly would say is that, there's no particular property that that essentially could not be a deal to somebody. It really depends on who your buyer's list is, who are the people that you're, selling it to, and what your specific specifications are too. I mean, what you're going to do, but at the end of the day, I mean, why waste the lead? If it's a good lead and you think somebody else could utilize it, send it off to somebody else, wholesale it out to somebody else. I mean, and that's kind of the power of a strong buyer's list too. So
how do you go about building your buyer's list with these? Now, this is something I'm really excited about this one because I can see where this would go. So, Gene, how do you go about using your software to build a buyer's list?
Oh man, this is great. So what you would do is this. What you do is that there's many times when you go and you drop pins on properties. And when you drop pins on properties, it comes up with Jacob LLC. And you're like, that's funny. A company owns this property. Wow. They must be buying properties in this area. Why are they buying them? Well, it's probably a good rental place, good rental market, good rental area, or you know what? This guy who knows, maybe this guy's looking for another property in the area. So what do? Well, you keep that guy's information. Currently, right now, due to legal reasons, we can't skip trace LLCs yet, but we will be able to soon. But
which is, by the way, guys, for those you don't know, that's a big pain in the assets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It is
100%. But you go and you look and you go to the Secretary of State website and you look up that LLC and you find out 98% of these LLCs in states, they have the manager's information right there on the website of who owns that business. There are only 2 to 3, I think there's 3 now, 3 states that do not have who owns those businesses on those sites. And I mean, if you know, if you don't, you don't. It's kind of one of those things. But there's 3 states that don't have it. And you can find out who that individual is. Then what you do is you take that property, then you export that property out of Cruze4Cash. When you have that person's information, and where do you do it? Where do you put it into? Well, we got it. We got a tool for that. You drop it into PerfectSkip, and you will get all of their information. And I know we got a few minutes left, and I just want to cover this part really quick, Jacob, if you don't mind, in 5 minutes. Segue into that, and then we could take a quick few questions and go on to there. PerfectSkip, there's actually, I think she's still on here. Is she? Elise? She's here.
Yes.
She actually ran a few lists last week on it. And tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts.
But yeah, it's and looked at it. So it was our first time using the site, which is super easy, and yeah, I can say good things so far. So far, so good.
Yeah, so what we did honestly is that, you know, we created a platform utilizing similar technologies that we had with Cruze4Cash. And what we did was we created a batch skip tracing platform, and it's called PerfectSkip. And as we were talking about earlier in this, that, you know, we ran 212, I believe 232 leads through and got a 97% hit rate, you know. Actually, I wasn't surprised, if you want me to be honest with you. I really don't expect anything less than what it is. And the reason being is this, is that, you know, we put a lot of time and energy into this, and, you know, we're not going to put out a product that's crap. That's the first thing. And so with that being said, we understand that your time is everything. It's not money, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. And so if we're able to give you the results, and we have the ability to get these results within the powers of what we have, then we're going to give you the best information and the best data possible.
Close that real quick. Yeah, thanks.
And
how you doing?
and so, you know, PerfectSkip is really easy, real simple. I mean, it's not complicated at all. You take the list, whether it has a person's name and also the property information on it, or just the property information. Either or, we give you two options. Whatever way you want to do it, it works. And you literally take that list, you drop it in our server. It calculates how many properties you have on there. We tell you, hey, you know what? This is what it cost. You hit the payment button, and literally within minutes, you get that whole entire result back. You're not waiting days, you're not waiting hours, you're not waiting years in order to get this information back. You know, we made it to where literally this gentleman who dropped this list was able to get 212,000 records within 3.5 hours,
Wow.
which is crazy. Yeah, crazy. And you know, the data just doesn't stop there. I mean, we have people's ages, whether or not they filed for bankruptcy before or not, whether or not, you know, whether or not that individual, excuse me, has has any type of bankruptcies, whether they're deceased. We give you relatives information, their phone numbers, their email addresses. We give you their individuals' phone numbers and email addresses too as well, who own that property. And here is the golden nugget. It is, honestly. And I'm so ecstatic about this, because this is really the thing that sets us apart from everybody else. How many people still send or would send postcards or any type of mail to the tax mailing address? Who'd do that? Is that what everybody's been taught? Send it to the tax mailing address, right? That's where they're at. That's where they live, right? No, everybody? No?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I do when you buy something different, but I also do it because I get a discount for being a nonprofit.
Well, we
just saying,
actually give you, based upon our algorithm, the most likely current residency for that individual. We also give you the person's most recent property acquisition. Now, why is that important? Well, two reasons. One is, if you're sending mail out, you and 500,000 other people are sending it to the tax mailing address. Good luck with the lottery. I've never won it yet, okay? When you're sending it to the most recent property acquisition, or you're sending it to the person's most likely address that they currently reside at, you are going to have better results, guaranteed. And the reason is this, is that when you're sending it to that person's home address, where they particularly reside at, they're not getting 50, 100, 200, 300 pieces of mail coming in. This is yours. It's unique. It's different. So again, you know, we provide you with that information. And so it'll give you a competitive advantage and a competitive leg on your competitors in the market space to be able to get in touch with these people and close deals rather quickly. We do have some things that are going to be coming up in the near future. actually within the next 8 weeks. We have a vacancy indicator that's going to be coming into PerfectSkip here within the next few weeks too as well. And then we also have address verification, and we're going to be segueing in their social media profile information. And so we're pretty much giving you everything, including the kitchen sink, and anything and everything that we can give you in order to get the results you need to get in touch with these people. And so, you know, we think our product is top notch for sure. We put a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort over 2 years developing it. And so, you know, with that being said, you know, we gave Jacob, and we also gave Jacob and company the links that you guys can utilize to be able to sign up for both of these platforms. Cruze4Cash is coming out within the next week. What we had some snags, and again, the perfectionist mentality of mine wouldn't allow for a product to go out with any bugs at all. So we delayed that just a little bit. And PerfectSkip is up and ready to roll. For all of you that are on the call today, and for being Investor Party members, we're actually giving you a 10% off on your first skip. And if you do massive leads or massive lists over 100,000, give us a shout at support@perfectskip.com, and we'll hook you up with the best rate we can give you.
Now, that's actually something we are going to be doing this season. So for those of you who are part of Real Estate Survivor, you will be working with this software. So get used to, go ahead and download it. Get ready with it, guys. You're going to be doing a lot. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we got a test. We got a test profile that you can download and try out and see what you think on it. iOS and Android, both platforms.
So I have a little something that's just for you, because this just makes me feel like it's just appropriate. Let's see. Yeah, this seems to be like a really good theme song for this, doesn't it? Yeah. There you go. Anyway, so if you guys have enjoyed this today, I hope you guys continue to come back and get to learn more about what we were doing here at Investor Party. Go ahead and start following PerfectSkip and Cruze4Cash on social media. Tell your friends about it. And for those of you who are part of Investor Party, you also get the link directly off of our platform. So you can download it directly from there with our promo code and get your discount. So if you've not joined Investor Party, why not? Come join the party. Community.investorparty.com. Come on over, see what's going on. If you like it, I'm glad to meet you. If you got questions about it, ask Elise. It's her deal, not mine. She's good for that, right? Now, we have Friday, we have one more. We have our final party chatter call. That's going to have our stock market recap with Miss Emily Murray. Hello, my dear. She's hiding somewhere. And then we're also going to have Mr. Joseph Earls, who was a veteran that was told he would never be able to do anything again and just to take his disability and be okay with that. He now has been a specialist in subject to properties and has now over, I believe, 50 properties in his market. And he's going to share with you how he's gone about doing it when everyone told him that he couldn't. Go ahead, bring a Kleenex. You will be moved. It's very, very cool. All right, guys. Without any
Jacob, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you
having
us on.
We're glad to have it. And congratulations on having your softwares. I'm very excited to be utilizing them.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everybody. You
appreciate it, y'all. Have a great one. Take care.
Bye.